Hi everyone. Welcome to the Coding CADventure. I am Tiffany Hayden. Um, Today we're going to dive into override color. You can do this with mainly sketch lines. You can't do it with sketch points yet, but I have requested that in the idea board for Autodesk Inventor, so um, hopefully that'll come in the future. I have a few things. You can see I have this part that just has a square on a sketch, and we're going to go through a different one way of changing the color. You can of course change the color, but the trick is changing it back to default is something that doesn't seem to be documented very well in the API, that you can do that, that it's even possible for you to change it back to the default color once you've changed it away from the normal color. So um, for this instance, we're going to use VBA just because it's easier. You can of course use iLogic in some aspects, but VBA, you have a bigger range of the API that you can talk to. You can also use VB.NET or C# if you're more in that space of programming. But just to make it a little bit more simple to digest, we're going to use VBA today, um, and kind of just start coding. So I created a new project inside of VBA, and you can do this by just hitting File and New Project. I have created a project of my own and a new module, so that is what is selected. And inside of here, you will create your code. And we're just going to create a sub that is going to use the pick command for override color. So we're just going to name it override color pick. And that's going to just create our pick command for us. And I'm just going to create a little space. We're going to need a couple of objects to be able to actually get the information from the sketch. So the first one we need is a sketch line. The normal syntax for VBA when you're dealing with Inventor is all the objects start with O. So I'm going to do that. That is not standard for some of the other programming languages, but I have seen that over and over, and it seems to be a standard for naming practices. So I'm just going to do O sketchline as sketchline. And then we need to create a color. So we're going to do dim color, color as inventor.color. All right, and the color that we're going to use is, you could do let me just go back a little bit. You can actually do a single line definition and setting, and that's just with doing a semicolon or colon and then set color equals, and then whatever color that you need it to be. Or you can do a double line, which you just do set color equals. And then we need to create a color, and to do that, you have to use the transient object. So you would do this application dot transient object dot create color. And then for the color, you can get any color you want. So you just need the values for the color and set it in there. But for this color, we're going to use 210, 125, and 45. And that's just a brownish color. So you can use any color that you want. This is just for the demonstration. So to be able to use the pick command, a lot of times you're going to want to do things over and over. So let's say you want to loop through or you want to continue with picking. And to do that, you need some sort of loop that will go and let you select the pick and then try to select another one. That is like the key to being able to pick over and over. So for this case, we're going to use a do loop. So it's just do and then loop until, or loop while uh, the sketch line, in this case, we're going to be setting the sketch line. So O sketch line is nothing. So for this, you're going to be using a pick. So we're going to be setting, so set the O sketch line equals, and then we're going to actually use a pick command, and I have it over here, and I will just copy and paste it. It's kind of long, so what you'll do is you'll go to this application.commandmanager.pick, and then inside of that you have a filter that you can choose, and for this we're going to use a sketch curve line filter that lets you pick a specific type of object inside the, in this case, sketch. And then the next prompt that you get is to what you would like the user to see when they are prompted to use the pick command. So in this case, I'm just saying select the sketch line or hit escape. Escape ends the command, so it'll continue. In this case, it should continue to loop through the do loop, and then you have the sketch line, or they'll be prompted to hit the sketch line every time. So for this case, we're going to hit play on the sub, and you see how it's prompted to hit a sketch line, and then you'll have another one and another one and another one. And then when you hit escape, it should exit, which it did. It stopped the pick command. So in this case, we want to do something with that sketch line. Right now, we're just letting the user pick it. We're not doing anything with it. So we're going to change the override color of the sketch line. So we'll do O sketch line dot override color equals, and then we're going to set it to this color. And let's just hit play, and you see how you're prompted to do it, and then it changes the color as soon as you select it. And then, well, debug. Oh, this is a good learning opportunity. You have to check before you set the override color. Check to see if you have a sketch line. So we need to do if O sketch line, or actually, if not O sketch line is nothing, then do the color. So it's going to say if the sketch line is not nothing, which means it's something, we're going to change the color of the line. And you have to do that because the last iteration of the loop, if you hit escape, the last iteration of the loop is nothing. So it's going to try to change the override color of something that isn't there. So we'll go ahead and hit play. And let's look at the properties for the sketch line. And you see how it's been changed to 210, 125, and 45. That is just the color that it's been changed to, that we set it to. So we changed it to a color, but what if you have already set it to a color and you want to change it back? One of the, I kind of dove into this in the API and just tried to figure out how you change the color back. I was like, well, maybe I could capture the color and then change it back to that color, and it would somehow know that it's default. It's actually more simple than that. So we're going to just copy this whole sub, and then we don't need color in this case. So we're just going to say reset override color with pick. We don't need color, so I'm going to take that out. And then what you actually have to do is you just say override color equals nothing. And miraculously, it changes it back to the default color. So let's say that, and that, and that, and that. And then you exit and you look at the properties and it's changed back to the default. So if you ever have the instance of wanting to change the color back to the default and not knowing what color it is, just change it back to nothing and it resets it back to default. And you don't actually have to set it to a specific color. I was going to go through a couple other instances that you can loop through. Just let's say you don't want to use the pick command and you just want to change all the colors of the sketch line or all the colors of a specific sketch for the sketch line. You don't have to use the pick command for that. You can just set them all to a specific color. So let's do another sub. So we'll do just override color. And then we need to have a few more objects other than color. We actually have to find the active document, which we have that. So we'll do part doc as part document. And then we'll set it to set part doc equal to this application dot active document. And that will be our part document. Then we need the part def, which is the component definition of the part. And then we'll do as part component definition. And that is simply part def equals part doc dot component definition. And then we need to have a sketch. So we already have that. We need to find it as an object. So we'll do dim o sketch as planar sketch. And then we're going to set it to part def dot sketches dot item, and then set it to whatever we have it in. So we have it as sketch override color, and then in parentheses. Oh, I missed the setting. There we go. And then we are changing a sketch line, so we need a sketch line. So dim o sketch line as sketch line. And then we need a color. So we still need a color. Dim o color as inventor.color. And then what we do there is we need to loop through all the sketch lines that are in that sketch. So we'll do a for each o sketch line in o sketch dot sketch lines. And we need a next to finish that out. So if you want to just change all the colors, so what we'll do is we'll just go up here and steal this since we already wrote it. And set equals that color. And then what we want to do is we want to just set the override color. So set, actually you don't need to set it, you just need o sketch line dot override color equals color, o color. Okay, so for this instance, it's just going to loop through all the sketch lines in the sketch and change the color to the override color. So we'll go ahead and push play, and you see how it changed them back. We can do just a copy of this and remove color since we don't need it, and then change this to nothing. And then we can do a revert, or what do we call it? Reset. reset override color. Um, and you can just do a play and you see how it changes it back. So that is a really simple way for you to change the color of especially sketch lines to back to the default. I hope that helped you. If you're anything like me and you were fighting with changing colors of objects, I hope this helped you. Well, you have a great day, and thanks for joining us here at the Coding CAD Venture, and talk to you soon.